Okay, so welcome to another video in our GCSE preparation. Use this video when you've done quite a bit of revision already and want to test where you're up to. What we're going to look at is A questions. I'm going to ask you to look at some content. I'm then going to set you a question and then I'm going to tell you what the answer should be. At various times I'll ask you to stop the video and to do a potential task. Okay, before we begin, we need to think about our A questions. Now, our A questions are short and sharp and to the point, and they are usually 4 marks questions. You're usually asked to describe something, surface detail, key features. It doesn't need too much. Remember, what we've talked about is 4 clear points or 2 points explained. Okay, first of all, what I'd like you to do is to grab a pen and a piece of paper. I'd like you to write down everything that you can think about or everything that you can remember about the topic of Hungary. So stop the tape, write everything you can, and then restart. Okay, what I want you to do now is to get a pen and a piece of paper ready to answer an A question. Don't take any longer than between 4 and 5 minutes. Stop the clock, get everything ready, and then restart it, and I'll give you the question. And the question is, describe the events in Hungary in 1956. Restart this video once you've answered, and I will give you the content that is needed. In terms of an answer, the bottom line with this event is that it was very brutal and lots of military force being used by the USSR, hence is looking at it in this topic. Khrushchev first of all sent in tanks, but after a week they were forced to withdraw. So, on the 4th of November, 200,000 Soviet troops and as many as 2,500 tanks arrived in Budapest. Then there were 2 weeks of bitter street fighting. It's thought that somewhere in the region of 27,000 Hungarians had died, and, as a result, Soviet control was restored. The Soviets executed Nagy and his fellow leaders. Hungary was prevented from leaving the Warsaw Pact, and it was now very clear that the Soviet Union was not prepared to let go of countries within its sphere of influence. Okay, for our next topic, what I'd like you to do is to write down everything that you can remember about Saddam Hussein and his early control of Iraq before the invasion in 2003. When you've done that, restart the video and I'll give you our question. Once again, you're going to need a piece of paper and a pen, stopwatch to make sure you don't go any more than 4.5–5 minutes. Get ready for the question, restart the video when you're ready for it. And the question is, describe Saddam Hussein's human rights record. Stop the video now and restart it to hear the answer. Okay, in terms of an answer, the bottom line is here that Saddam Hussein's human rights record was pretty bad. He was oppressing his own people. He had brutally defeated uprisings of the Kurds in the north and the Shia Muslims in the south. He'd carried out ruthless campaign against the mainly Shia opponents of his regime in the marshes of southern Iraq. He also began to drain the marshes on which these people depended. He was not concerned that his own people were being affected by economic sanctions, with malnutrition and disease increasing dramatically. So, in summary, his human rights record was very poor. Once you've done this question, I'm then going to have another question in the same vein. We're now going to move on to the topic of Nazi Germany. Okay, this time I'd like you to write down everything that you can remember about Hitler and the Nazi Party up to and including 1923. If you remember, 1923 is when the Munich Putsch was attempted. So what can you remember about Hitler and the rise of Nazis up to 1923? Once again, we're going to have another go at an A question. So I need you to get a piece of paper and a pen ready and a stopwatch to make sure that you don't go over the 4.5 to 5 minutes. When you've got that, restart the video and I'll give you the question. And the next question is, describe Hitler's role in the Nazi Party before 1923. Have a go at the question, restart the video when you've done it, and I'll give you the answers. Okay, there's quite a lot of material that you could put down for this question. In 1920, Hitler was put in charge of propaganda to begin with. He bought the Munich Observer and changed the name of the party to the Nationalist Socialist German Workers' Party, or, as we know, Nazis for short. His aim was to overthrow the Weimar Republic. He chose a swastika and the colours. He drew up the 25-point programme showing the aims of the party. And in 1921 he set about converting the party into a mass movement, and by 1922 had 3,000 members. Finally, he established the SA with many of the Freikorps. So in summary, Hitler had a massive role to play in the Nazi Party before 1923. For our final topic of this video, what I'd like you to do is to write down now everything that you can remember about how the Nazis changed life for workers in Germany. And our final question is, describe how the Nazis reduced unemployment. So grab a pen and a piece of paper, have a go at this question, give yourself no more than 4.5 to 5 minutes, restart the video when you've done it, and I'll give you the answers again. Okay, in terms of an answer, some of the things we're looking for here is the fact that the Nazis introduced public works, such as the building of the autobahns, as you can see in the picture on the previous slide. They also reintroduced conscription that gave men jobs in the army, and also this had a massive impact on the armaments factories because they need to be working to full capacity to make sure that they are producing enough for those people who are being conscripted in the army to use, and therefore workers are needed in those factories. Public works, conscription, and the building of arms. And that concludes this video on A questions.